Welcome to E360 TV, the live streaming and on-demand destination for influential voices and enlightened audiences. We offer trending, grassroots, and purpose-driven content across a diverse range of interests. E360 TV is more than just watching programs. We offer the ability to interact with live shows connecting audiences to real, authentic influencers and storytellers while streaming to millions of devices. Real experiences. Raw conversations. One destination for it all. E360 TV.
On July 4th, 1962, I found myself in the lost and found of mankind. Just because something finds its way to the lost and found doesn't mean that it wants to be there. Just because something finds its way to the lost and found doesn't mean that the person who lost it doesn't care for that lost item.
You are writing moments that people will learn from, grow from, and heal through for thousands of years. Together, we are co-authoring a unique moment in time. That DNA, those fingerprints, they're going to be gone. Ashes to ashes, dust to dust. But it is your story that they will tell for thousands of years. But only if you leave it. Things that do not serve you must go. The longer you wait, the more time you give them to trick you into serving them. 22 homes in foster care, everything I wore as a scar, as a shame, things that started like Velcro on my spirit. After just a few months, then years, then decades, I had believed myself into believing that they were indelible tattoos. Sometimes we have to be broken down to appreciate the view once we start getting up. I want you to leave this place and know that you have been changed. Why? How do I know it's true? Because each of you has just changed. Good morning. Oh, who was I channeling there? Oh, the great, late, great Jerry Butler, maybe. Yeah, Jerry Butler. What an icon, you guys. If you don't know who he is, if it's past your time, your prime, check him out. He transitioned last week, and I was talking with my good friend Teresa Griffin. You guys remember her? She's a big deal here in Chicago. Background singer for Diana Ross. Who else? Barbara Streisand. Celine Dion, Mariah Carey. So, she's got those, right? So anyway, she sang at his service here in Chicago yesterday. And I was listening to Jerry this morning. And boy, we've sure lost an icon. So to all the family and friends of Mr. Butler, the icon, our prayers go out to you. So welcome today to today's installment of Bathrobe Moments. I'm Dr. Lauren, your host. And so happy to be here today. Quickly, I don't want to waste a minute of today's show. A great guest here, a young lady that came to my attention not so long ago, and I'm just so honored to be working with her. Remember the name. There's something in a name. That is true. And every now and then a person will come running through the front yard. Oh, wait a minute. And Brittni Cosgrove is one of those. That name. You're going to find out why. She's backstage waiting to come out. Great show today. Before we do, today's healthy metabolic breakfast. I don't want to do this because I practiced one day and it slid all off on the desk. I don't want to do that. And I can't glue it down because I want to eat it. So there's a rye cracker with some goat milk cheese, some mango in the middle, cucumbers with the same cheese on it. That's breakfast. And it's healthy. My blood work chose my food. And because of that, in just 2 short months, down to 36 pounds. I'm done. I'm like, okay, stop. You stop now. Don't make me go eat a piece of cake to back it up. Oh, just kidding. I don't claim that. But anyway, so happy about it. Have not had to use my inhaler one time in the last 2 months. I have stopped. I've only used this once. It's a CBD topical for like when my hands start locking up and stuff. Arthritis, getting home, 62. Haven't used it but once. So really excited about that. So if you are interested in knowing more about it, there's the book on my coach, Jane Durst-Polkis, PhD, Dr. Jane. This is her book, a USA Today bestseller. Get over and pick it up on Amazon. It's just amazing. Go listen to the story. And I also want to say today, well, look, here it is. First of all, if you're in mid-chew, if you have a weak stomach, you might want to turn away. Here's my before picture. Uh-oh. Ooh, good googly moogly. Good evening. I feel like the Black Alfred Hitchcock there. And then, boom, halfway. That was it. That was 34 pounds gone. There's the, oh, my goodness. Yes, I plan on naming the child I'm currently carrying. Yes, I look like a pregnant man. Boom. So there it is. If I can do it at 62, you can do it at anything. So there it is. Get out and make yourself a better person today so you can serve more people every day. Our spotlight sponsor today, and then we're getting Miss Brittni in here. There they are. Genovia Renee, a mother-daughter team out of New York City. I met over 2 years ago. And this month, my product of feature is facial polish. Yes, in other words, it's one of those exfoliants. That's right. Get over. Scan that code that is up in the corner. I always go the wrong way. There. And use your handheld device. And at checkout, you'll be prompted to enter BRM for Bathrobe Moments for an additional 10% off your purchase. There you go. So who's here today? Brittni Cosgrove. I just, sometimes people you meet, you just go, "Aw, I just love you." She's like that. What I love about her is everything. She's a personal and a professional coach. She wants to help you transform your life and your business, and she is helping ambitious clients. So if you're lazy, you might not want to call Brittni. She's going to help those ambitious people through mindset work, somatic expression, and emotional healing of past experiences to find inner peace and passion over that hustle and burnout. We don't want that. No, we want to live a life that is all joy. Can I get a name? Wait. Can I get one? There's one. There it is. Put your hearts on the screen, you guys. It's our way, virtually, of welcoming someone who's never been here before, getting them in so we can get started. She's on her way down the hallway. Put some hearts on the screen. Brittni Cosgrove in the house. Good morning, Miss Brittni. How are you?
Hello, good morning. I'm so happy to be here. How are
How are
you?
we? I've been waiting on this one. So how you been since I last saw you? Good?
Good. Yeah, very
Good.
good.
Where are you at in the world?
Right now I'm out in Washington State, so it's very early over here.
Okay. But is that where you live?
I go back and forth between here and Florida.
Okay. All right. Washington State. Beautiful, beautiful part of the country there. What's the weather supposed to be like there today?
Cold.
Oh,
It's
is it?
always cold, gray, rainy, very
Oh,
Pacific Northwesty.
okay, like Seattle.
Yes, yeah, I'm a couple hours north
Okay,
of
okay,
Seattle.
okay. No wonder you go back and forth between Florida. I get it. I get it. So listen, there's so much for us to discuss today. I'm going to leave for about up to 1 minute, and not to put you on the spot, but I like for our guests to, start their own vibe, create their own vibe with the audience, and just, lay out there what'd you wake up with on your heart today, and what's important to you, why you do what you do, how you do it, and then I'm going to come back, pick up what you left on the table, and we'll use that to get started on this interview today. Okay, so you good? I'm going to leave for a minute or two.
Good.
Just a minute. I'll be right back. Don't worry, I'm watching. If you need me to come in, I'll come in. Take it away, all you, Brittni.
Amazing. Well, hello, everyone. I'm so happy to be here this morning. Like I said, bright and early wake up, but I had that moment where I realized just so full-heartedly how fortunate I am, how blessed I am to be able to start my day in a way that I absolutely love. Talking about this work, which I'm so passionate about, that has changed my life, that I get to help people change their lives through. It's something that has been on my heart to just share with the world, and being able to get out of the door first thing in the morning to be here. It's just such an honor. It takes me back a couple years where I realized just how far I've come in my self-development journey. If I would have taken you back to myself as a childhood, like starting in kindergarten, I was struggling with severe anxiety, perfectionism, just that ambition, and a very high achieving oriented. And it led to a lot of anxiety, just a lot of wearing a mask as I was growing up. And then in 2020, when the rest of the world slowed down, I stopped for pretty much the first time that I could ever remember. And I hit the pause button on my own life. And I started asking, what am I doing? Where am I going? Why do I want what I want? What do I even want? And it was in 2020 that I started my first online business. And I fell in love with the journey that is entrepreneurship. And through growing that business, I realized that while that specific business was not the end all be all, I loved how it grew me and how it pushed me and how it expanded me. And it was at the end of that year that I started working with my own coaches and found the world of coaching and this world of self-development, which has been the most transformative experience of my life.
Wow, that's a pretty bold statement.
It is.
Brittni, I always want to call you Britt. And I say, you should get
By all
permission.
means.
Can I? Okay.
You can.
My nieces and nephews are always like, how you just going to put that name on me, Uncle? And you're supposed to ask me if I like it. So because I'm good at names. But it's also because, you're so easy. You're so approachable. And that's what I think is one of the reasons why you're so successful with your clients and the work you do. So I want to ask you about, I can tell you're very purposeful in your descriptions of everything. And like, for instance, when you say, I want to say it exactly right. When you say ambitious clients, when you say over on your website, wait a minute, aspiring people, you were very selective about
I'm here to work with world changers.
Right. So somebody might be out there and wonder if those particular words actually apply to them, because we oftentimes see ourselves, well, in a dimmer light, let's say, than other people. So what do you actually mean? What are some of the characteristics of that person that you're looking for? And they may not even know that those characteristics apply to them.
Oh, I love that. And it's true. We often don't realize our own greatness.
Exactly.
That is one of the most powerful things I've experienced as the client on the client side, is someone else seeing that for me. Because when when there's something on your heart, when you have a goal or a dream or a vision, even when you're not bought into it, I may stand that if that vision is on your heart, it's there for a reason. It's meant to be brought to this world.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I mean by world changers, people that have something on their heart and are willing to go for it. Because yes, world changers are the people that have maybe big followings, are in the limelight of the world, but it
Mm-hmm.
also means the people that are changing their generational traumas, that are impacting their communities, that are creating ripple effects in the every single day that they live, changing the world through their actions, through their smiles, through making it possible by doing it for themselves first. So that's
Right.
the kind of people that I love working with, are the people that they want something. And it can literally be anything from how to be a parent that runs a business and finding that harmonious way of balancing it. I've worked with startups. I worked with nonprofit startups. Like, there's so many different ways of how it can show up in your life.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
There's people where there's something bigger, there's something more. There's that idea that you can't get rid of, or there's something that shows up over the years or just pops into your head, and you want it, but maybe there's some fear, maybe there's some doubt, maybe there's that question of like, yeah, who am I to go change the world? Who am I to make a difference?
You
But
know what, Britt? I'm gonna say this. If I were you, you may be already doing it as far as coaching clients. Can I ask how old you are? I know you're not supposed to. A woman. She doesn't care.
I don't mind. I'm 31.
31. So here's the deal, you guys. People like Brittni, and Brittni, people, your peers, okay? I'm 62, you're 31. Look at that. That's half. That's exactly half. So Brittni is she's indigenous to this world that we currently live in, and that is this new world. I, on the other hand, am an alien, which means things that I knew in my world growing up and whatnot, you have no clue to, no reference point outside of the history books. So what I'm saying is, don't be surprised, people my age or over 40, that you may find yourself drawn to working with somebody half your age, because there's a shift going on. We are blessed enough, the older ones, to be able to hand a piece to these younger ones, the indigenous species of this world today, that we have things that they don't. We know things that they won't, and vice versa. And they're going to live things we could have never imagined. So let me ask you, have you begun working with people older than yourself? And if so, what's that like? Because a lot of older people used to think, you can't tell me. Back when I was a kid, we walked 40 miles every day. Talk about that. How's that feel? And how's it make you feel?
Do you know what's so funny, Dr. Lauren, is that this is the third time this week that this same conversation has come up. And it's just this theme of being, right? It's the theme of being a student of life. Because I work with a lot of experienced and newer coaches, and we see that kind of projection as well. But I very much have experienced it with people thinking that because they're older than me, I won't be able to help them, as well as when I work with younger people, maybe in like the college age area, sometimes it can get projected on that I'm here to tell them what to do. And really, the most beautiful thing about being a student of life is you're going to find your growth and lessons in every single situation. And one of the roles of a coach, at least the way I own my role, is I ask really powerful questions to help you unlock your own answers. I'm not here telling people decades older than me how to live their lives, or that the life they weren't living wasn't right, or anything along those lines. Because at the end of the day, you know your own truth. But sometimes we don't know the questions to ask. Sometimes we don't know how to get still enough to hear our answers. And that's what I hold in my containers. It's really about helping people come to their own truth. And that's where I love it. It's this empowering, liberating experience for anyone, regardless of age, regardless of where you're at in your life or business. Because I can work with a high school student, a young entrepreneur startup, as well as a CEO in maybe their 50s, 60s. And all of them might go through the same the same limiting belief at the end of the day. They're all going to experience it in different ways based on their past, their subconscious, what their life looks like. But the questions are really what the key is. It's that unlocking of their unique answer.
I agree. I want to go here because it seems like you guys know how I do it every day. Let the guests speak from their heart, and that always leaves something for us to go on for the rest of the hour. And so I'm loving this thing about, the indigenous and the other side of the table where I live, the aliens. So let's go to some of the terminology. One of the things, you guys, this is for all of us, that I've been really working in to bring out within my work is that I've been getting the downloads that it's very important moving forward in this age and moving forward that we don't just set the intentions, okay, but that we literally rewrite the definition that we need to put right behind that intention. And when they show me what they mean, they always show me, those dominoes when people make them go like a snake around the room, and then they want to hit one and they go, and you watch them do the whole thing. Well, the intention is the last domino. So you set it, then you stack all the ones in between it, and then your definition, what you mean by it. Because words have changed. Words have been bastardized. Words have been completely swapped out, definitions, and we use them without understanding that it may not be the same definition it was 10, 15 years ago, let alone 10, 15 minutes ago. Reverse that. So I want to go here. And so the intention is the last domino, and the definition of what you mean, because it must be what you mean so that it can be full of meaning, and then for them, meaningful. So here we go. You used a word that I love and I'll never forget. I was in San Diego at a retreat with most of the people your age, and they used this word, and I was like, I love that. Take us back to container. Talk about that, because a lot of people my age aren't familiar with that term, but I love that term. It's a sacred term. Talk about that, container.
Ooh, I have chills when you say sacred term. I love that. I also was not experienced with this word until I found the coaching world. And so I think it makes a lot of sense. Like for anyone that doesn't recognize that in this context, you're not alone. That's very, very normal. A lot of people think of if they're not experienced with coaching, and to be fair, all coaches operate differently. So I guess I am also putting on the lens of how I operate my business, how I work with clients, and how I was trained. So I'm just going to throw that out there. But it's not all about like the one-off sessions or the as it goes. Like when you go to therapy, you can go for as long as you want, and it's kind of like you just build and build and build. A container is different in that there is a start and an end, and it's within that bubble that transformation happens. That's what I'm holding as a container for the transformation of my clients. And that means that through their ups and downs, through the doubts and fears that come in, I am holding them and their vision. I am seeing it for them. I am believing it for them when life tries to take them out, when the doubts creep up, all of that. Because at the end of the day, I'm their biggest cheerleader as they're moving forward and as lifes. And so a container is I really love that you call it a sacred container, because it is the all-encompassing experience of working with clients. And it includes the support between calls and sessions. It includes whether that is voice notes or whether it's, like I said, every coach does it differently, but it's really taking it further than just session by session. It's the whole experience of being so held and supported and called forward by someone that really, truly sees your vision for you.
That's absolutely on point. I love that. And I'll say this. Over the years in my own coaching program, I never referred to container because I was so busy plugging the holes in the colander. You see, seriously, the little things that that's not that much. That's not a big deal. See, doing your best doesn't come in pints, quarts, or gallons. You don't do your best just on large or big projects and think, well, that little thing is it's not significant. No, you do your best all the way across the board, or you're not doing your best anywhere on the board. you're affecting it all. So when people have things that are causing leaks in the ceiling, you don't want buckets all over the place. All of it is pouring out. And after all, what does the promise say? What do we need? It's not my cup runneth out. It's my cup runneth over, which means how's it going to run over if everything's leaking out, right? So that I love. Now, let's go here. You say you want to help people live a life. Here comes one of those words, very purposefully placed, that they're excited to live. Now, go back, every person, to the first thing that happened in your mind, in your spirit, in your literal body. When you opened your eyes this morning, what'd you do? I'm going to be honest, I know what I did. I stayed up a little later than usual. Didn't sound very excited, did I? How did you feel? What was the excited utterance that came out of your spirit this morning? Did you, here we go. Most of us don't really wake up in that moment like that, but it must start somewhere. So, what do you feel about that? Is it possible to gauge at what point of your day do you really get excited about the life you live, if at all? Is it 2:00 in the afternoon? Is it after I have my morning coffee? So many of us say that, don't talk to me, talk to the hand until I have my coffee. Talk about how we decide when and where every day we get excited about the life we're living. What is that? How do we do that, Brittni?
I want to answer with a question, because what if it isn't a moment or a time? But what if it's this underlying current of energy that we just operate from? Because I'm not here to bypass what real life looks like. We're humans. I get cranky. I scream with frustration. I cry when I'm upset. The most self-developed humans out there all do, because of that word I just said. We are human. And does that mean that we can't fall in love with the process that is life? Because that's what it's become for me, is this learning to love life for the life you're living, allowing for all of the humanness and the real worldness to be here, while also knowing that you're on purpose. You do what you do and say what you say with your full heart, with your full expression of yourself.
Yes.
And that's where the excitement comes. It's not in the specific things, but it's the I am living the life I want to be living.
There it is. ING. I always point people towards the ING because it is the process that you're within. Oh, sorry, Brittni. I can't talk right now. I'm sleeping. Let me call you back, girl. I'm in the middle of cooking. So can't hook up with you guys next Saturday. I wish I could, but I'll be traveling. You're in the process of something. And when we break it all the way down to the nth degree, we are human what? Are we human duns? No, we are human beings. We are in the middle of becoming. So it is a process. In other words, stick a label that says grace somewhere on your spirit. So you extend grace to yourself. So let's talk about that word, because that's a word I would like to hand to the young people in your category. Don't forget to take grace with you. Now, when you look at the comment that Ira David Levy, hi, Ira, PBS show host of Pedal America. I think I'm saying it right. Ira, put it in the chat. PBS television show. You guys check it out. He says, exactly, Brittni. It's all about tapping into oneself and wanting to do that work. Now, we all have the power within to succeed, and I would assume there are also people out there afraid of succeeding. Oh, yeah. How do you address them? Because I run into that from time to time with my students, and he is a professor here in Chicago. So what say you about that, Brittni? What do you got?
What an incredible question.
Yeah, it is.
The fear of succeeding, and I'll pair that with the fear of failure, is such a core wound that I see across the board. And I think it really does hold people back. They don't even want to start because they're afraid of not succeeding. So that's one direction. But then there's the fear of the success. When you know you want something big and you know it's going to change your life and you can't operate in the same way that you are now, that's scary. It's scary to expand our comfort zone. Growing pains are scary. So
that's why they're not called growing tickles.
I just want to normalize that it is scary to go for what you want. Now, the question really comes down to is, what is that fear? What is the thought or the belief that's driving that fear? Because I would bet every dollar I have that it's not grounded in something tangible, but it's going to be somewhere in the subconscious level getting projected out. So when I have people that are blocking themselves from knowing what they want, so they're hiding out in that clarity, or are kind of in that stuck of like, I want this, but I don't know if I really want it, but they do want it. And it's just like that fear or that doubt that they're capable of it comes up. I first help them by just slowing it down, helping them really tune into that vision, helping them feel what it is that they want to achieve. You are not a victim to achieving your goals, to feeling the feelings you'll have at that outcome. So learning to in-source that way. And then I'll tap into the subconscious and asking open-ended questions like, one fear I have about getting this goal is, and I'll just leave it open and let the subconscious fill in the blank. Or if there is maybe like an anxiety feeling or like a tightness in their body, I might say, like, when is the first time you remember feeling this way? And helping them start breaking down that energy that's holding them back. Because at the end of the day, it's coming from within. It's not bad. It's just here to try to protect them or help them in some way. But we don't want to put that energy in the driver's seat. We want them in the driver's seat. All emotions, including fear and doubt, are welcome, but they're going to be in the back seat. They're passengers. And it's helping people disidentify, like unidentify with all of the emotions and energies, coming back to their truth, and then opening up to everything that's present. It's kind of a deconstructing of that fear.
Right. A reverse manifesting. I always lay that right next to it because, we had a hand in it on most things because of what we accept or don't accept. I love what's on the screen. Does that look familiar to you? It should, because it's your quote. We took it from your website. Brittni says, I think we've been conditioned to chase success before we even know what that means to us. What I see as success is different than what you see as success, and that's okay. To me, success is living, not just
ING.
existing. Yes, ING. So let's go back to when you went through, those doors in hotels where you go and it goes in a circle. You can, if you don't walk out, you're gonna be right back outside where you know what I'm saying. When did you come out of that? That's because that's how I see all the time that I stayed in the place I didn't stay until I got there. Wait a minute. Why do I keep ending up in the same place? Because I didn't walk out soon enough. So talk about how you went from where you were, because you kind of look like the girl that everyone would assume has it all together. What is she? We're seeing a lot of that. Andrea Fung was here the other day. She switched over from being an attorney. Dr. Kalpana gave up being a board certified surgeon to do the things that make them feel like they're living an excited existence every day and walking away. Now, why do you think it is? Back in my day, a lot of people would follow in the footsteps of somebody. Well, my dad worked at that factory. We've always stayed here on the farm. They did what they were told to do, or they went into what people said was good for where you live. That's a good job. And it didn't do anything for the quality or level of the happiness they existed. It's for the family. It's for my kids. What about that? What about sacrifice? When we sacrifice, thinking it's for the overall good, but it's really chopping off. If it chops off a little of the spirit that makes us our best, is it really a good sacrifice? What do you say about that?
My hot take is that sacrifice is not healthy or something that we should be doing. And that's not to say not to compromise or not working with others, but it's more along the lines of like the self-sacrifice. If you're abandoning yourself, if you're abandoning your values, your vision, your goals, your dreams, I'm not a stand for that.
I agree.
And I'm just going to throw out that there is context and life that sometimes we feel stuck and unable to get out of that situation. That exists too. And I'm here to say you can. It's available. Maybe it's not easy. Maybe it's not, like there's so many layers on top of that because this is real life. And there's ways to meet real life without abandoning yourself, which is kind of where I see that sacrifice coming from.
Okay. I definitely. I'm going here. People like me, the aliens, oftentimes we don't like stretching to get out of our uncomfortable comfort zones. Thank you, Lulu Lee, for that coin of phrase. Uncomfortable comfort zones. Sometimes you hear it like, he's just a grumpy old man. Oh, she's just set in her ways. Oh, you cannot teach an old dog new tricks. All these things that are laid out to make us think, just stay, just settle, just settle. And it would seem to me that the closer you get to your own mortality, the more you want to finish the mission. I hear my mantra once I stepped over 50 and noticed down the road, ooh, what the hell? I think I have more life behind me than it looks perhaps rolled out in front of me. I better change my mantra to get her done. So I believe once we slip that in, the earlier the better in our journey to get it done. How do you help people decide or find what it is they feel their mission is? What are you trying to complete in this world? Because if you're in the middle of a process, what is the end result you're seeking? Are you finding, are people coming with, here is what I want to do, here is what I want to be, there is where I want to go? Because it is tied into manifestation. How do you feel about that? Manifestation.
Oh, okay. So there's two parts here, because I think that there's the people that, exactly what you said, they know where they're going, why they want it, what they're doing. They just need the accountability or maybe just the help of working with the fears and doubts to get there, but they're very clear. Then there's the other side where there's the lack of clarity. And that doesn't mean that they don't actually know what they want, but there's going to be some like self-imposed limitation or fear that's blocking that clarity. Regardless of where you're at on that spectrum, I always start with, what are your core values? And this is going to tie in a lot of the themes that we've talked about this morning, because it's also going to come back to that definition theme. So there's a ton of values out there. What are your top 3 to 5 values, your core values that you cannot live without? And furthermore, define them for you. So is it connection? What does that mean to you? Is it abundance? What does that mean to you? Wealth, adventure, whatever your core values are, define them for yourself and see, how are they being expressed in your life? Where are they not being expressed in your life? That's going to help to kind of funnel that to start aligning your life in that way that feels exciting and feels really good, even before things are changing and things are moving. Now, with manifestation, that is when you like pair intention with openness. And I'm a huge fan of, it's like this or something better. I am a big believer that we do not know what's best all the time.
No.
We do not know how things should lie out in how things go. We should not know how, or we do not know how others should be living their life, how the best way for things to happen is. We don't know that. There is no evidence outside of the mind. And so when we come to manifestation with that openness of, this is what I want, and I'm open to something better, we're working with the universe, God, whatever your personal take on that is.
I agree.
But really, it's coming from that intention. But at the end of the day, I also want people to remember that you are not a victim to the feelings you want from your goal to having that goal. And what I mean by that is that, say you want to, say you're manifesting a 6-figure year in your business next year. What would it feel like if today you pass that 6-figure goal? What does that feel like? Really tapping into the expansiveness, the abundance, that energy of hitting your goal.
I agree.
But realize like that's available right now, right here, before the money even comes in. And so that's, to me, where true manifestation starts coming out, because it's not about like the doing. I mean, it is, but it's not. It's about the being. We're coming back to that being. And when you're operating from that way of like, oh my goodness, I just made 6 figures, like I am feeling good, I hit my goal, I show up for my business shows up for me, like you're in that energy, regardless of where you're actually at in your fiscal year. That energy is transmuting into the things you do, the things you say,
Yes.
the opportunities that you look for. And that's how I use the word universe here, but again, fill it in with you. That's how the universe meets that energy and allows for that creation to happen.
I agree. Now, back to the alien indigenous, because here it is. A lot of people that fall into the alien side of the population believe that for whatever reason, we're limited to what we can do as far as manifesting, but that's a mindset. This is where it really comes in. Why do you think every time you can't figure something out on a computer or your phone, you call that young person in your life? Darius, get over here. I need some space on my system. I'm running out of space, it says. He comes right over. Okay, get out your passport. My external drive. And he shows me every time, but I could do it, but I'm afraid I'm going to delete something. I'm afraid I'm going to hit a button and everything's going to shut down or blow up or something. And so what I'm getting at is this: the connection, the availability, the asking for help, assistance from people that know more than you do. Because here's why: you all are able to create income in a month that it used to take people in my world decades. I have 21-year-olds right here in this town that I work with in my coaching program that are making $90,000 a month, 21 years old. And there's 40 of them up there. The one that made the least last month made 17 grand net last month. I remember when people at $5 an hour, $20,000 a year was their income. It's just incredible because you all are able to make your fortunes with your mind. We had to make our fortunes pretty much with our hands. So the difference in this world, I see it. Go ahead. What do you think when you hear that? Is it easier for you or not?
It's
So,
just
see what I mean?
different. Yeah, it's just different. It's a different era. And I think that it does highlight like generational differences. And I think that there's a lot of like discourse and a lot of sometimes confrontation between generations because it's coming from that lack of understanding that like there is that difference.
Right, because people, they put entitled on top
Yeah.
of young people. And why wouldn't they be? Isn't that what we were building? A better world for them to inherit? Weren't they entitled to what? You see what I'm saying? So don't get mad just because, So let me ask you, when you look down the road to, because we are right now, you are, Brittni, as well as I, you are manifesting for the Brittni of 40, 50, 60, and so forth. So when you look down the road, what do you see as a life you would like to have at 60? Let's say 60. What would you like to, if you were to pull the curtain back and peek through that window and watch your world for 60 seconds? What do you hope to see?
I love this because it's not even crazy different from what I have now. I have my coaching business still. I'm on stages. I'm working with masses and helping them continue to liberate themselves from self-imposed limitations, really just continuing to inspire people to live life on their terms, to fall in love with the process that is life, to be willing to do the healing. I'm hoping for more admin support because that's a part of business I do hate.
Yes.
So that exists for her. And really, it's just the being present in every moment, loving every single moment, the adventures, the travel, the continuing to, I have this vision of like candles lighting other candles, kind of like at a Christmas Eve service.
Yes. I use
Like
that analogy myself. Yes.
Yeah. That just, it's not so much the things, but that's the energy I see. It's just this contentment, this on purpose living, this being passionate about life.
What do you love most about the life you live today? What is it? What's the thing you love the most?
I'm a big adventurer. I love seeing the world. I love being outside of my comfort zone. One of your clients had said or I don't know how you phrased it, but being comfortable in the uncomfortable. I
Oh,
love
Lulu.
like expanding that and pushing that edge for me.
Yeah.
And like I said, I just love seeing new places. I love to travel and explore and just really tap into that spontaneous adventure. Adventure is one of my core values. And so really letting myself just be that explorer.
You know why I think adventure is so important? Because it has always been one of my go-tos. Ever since I was cast into foster care as a kid, I was told to treat it as an adventure, and that saved me many, many times. So the thing I love about the term adventure is that adventures make your heart beat just a little bit faster. And if you don't have something like adventure itself or something similar with a similar outcome, the only time your heart beats faster is when you're afraid, and that's panicky. And then you only learn to run from things, and you don't hear or feel the beckoning of when you are invited to run towards things. See, when I run towards something, I'm Bo Derek. Not really, but I'm just saying. Although, okay, no, I'm not trying to. I'm just saying. Or Chariots of Fire. Those people that they always show running down the beach in slow motion. That's running towards something to me. Now, the person in Jason or, one of those where they're at camp and the killer is ready to come in and, the one is always running and looking backwards. You quit looking backwards. And then they trip and fall. Then they're scooting backwards as he comes in to bite their head off. There's a difference in those two, running from and running to. Choose now. How do you feel about that? How about this? Let's go here. The imagination. I feel the greatest screen in the universe is our imagination. And everything we touch everywhere in the world began as a spark on that screen of imagination. Imagery. How's that work for you? Do you use, how's your imagination run?
Well, there's so much power in the tool of visualization, which is using the imagination for you.
Yes.
There's so much power. And there's been what's the word I want? Just research has gone into scientific studies have gone into showing the power of visualization and how it does have an impact in our lives, nearly to the degree of actually doing something. Now, when it kicks up fear, there's two different kinds of fear. There's the real animalistic fear that is designed within us to keep us alive. Fight or flight, exactly. And then there's the fear of what is, what could be, maybe it's a better way to say it. That fear of can I do it, fear of failing, fear of the unknown, all of that. Now, at the end of the day, this is where if you learn how to channel your intuition and trust your intuition, I know for myself, if I come to a dangerous moment, I know that animalistic fear is going to kick in and guide me where I need to go.
Right.
At the end of the day, that's not 98% of life. It's really those internal fears that are not rooted in real evidence.
Correct.
And so when you're visualizing and really allowing your mind to go to what that dream is, and I do think that, like I said, there's so much power in this, getting crystal clear in your mind on what that looks like down to what do your curtains look like in your dream house? Or what color wood is your desk in your dream office? Whatever it is for you, let yourself get crystal clear on what you want.
I agree.
And then when those fears come up, work with it. There's feedback in the fears. There's feedback in every emotion. I think a lot of people want to push it away, but it's if you learn how to listen to every emotion that's there, disappointment, fear, anger, whatever it is, there's a reason it's there. It's trying to tell you something.
Correct.
And so when you learn to listen to it, you can meet the needs of that fear while still moving forward.
Wow. See? Told y'all. I just love it. And you're absolutely right. Do you, here's the part I love to kind of lead into as we come around the last corner of the interview is how about this? Can you shed some light, share a couple of your tips on what you do as far as routines, rituals, grounding techniques? I'm a firm believer in that because once we start bringing in these things on a continual basis, we do better. It helps point to when we're not doing what we should be doing, and so on and so forth. So I'm always excited to hear what successful people use to get there and stay there. So what do you got? What are some of the things you do on a daily basis to keep yourself right where you need to be in alignment?
There are two things that immediately come to mind. So I'm going to touch base on those first. The first one is taking a moment for yourself every single day. Some people will call it meditation. Some people are afraid of that word. For just this purpose, I will use the word meditation, but that doesn't mean going to like a 30, 40 minutes or anything like that. So take off any filters or judgments. What I mean is taking a moment, even 1 to 3 minutes every single day of just slowing down, breathing, tuning into your body, closing down the mind to the best that's available, and just being in stillness with yourself. And again, I am just talking about a few moments every day will make a world of difference. And it is a muscle. You can grow it. You can expand it. When I first started meditating, I could barely handle 1 minute. And I've done hour-plus sessions now. It's a muscle. And there's intention and things like that. I don't know if you even want that. But the power of hitting that pause button for yourself, giving yourself that time every single day will do wonders of just calming down the nervous system and just helping you start learning to tune into yourself first and foremost. Now, the other tip I have is more of a mindset tip. And these are something I love, or how do I want to say it? When I share tips, it's really important to me that people can take it right here, right now, and go for it. Like, I don't want anyone to need to do anything else, people to take action.
Right.
So these are mindset shifts that you can start literally today, literally right now, that will completely open the doors. And this was where it started for me. I don't use the words I can't. I say I can, or I choose not to. I don't say that I should do anything. I say I will, I want to, I'm going to, but I never tell myself I should do anything.
And why is that? Why is that so critical, Britt?
Because if I think like, oh, I should go do that, I'm automatically coming from a place of judgment. If I don't do it, there's judgment, but I'm also subconsciously pushing out a belief that I know better the best way for things to happen. When I say something should happen or should not, I am projecting a judgment that I know best, and that's the best way. And so there's a lot of things that can stem from that, but either way, I don't want that energy in my life. Even as something as simple as going and doing the dishes. Should I go do the dishes? Well, of course, they need to be done at some point. But when I say, oh, I should go do that right now, that doesn't help anything. It doesn't feel good. It's me forcing myself. It's also me judging myself if I don't. And instead, I'll say, I'm going to, I want to, I will, any other variation like that. And just those two shifts, instead of saying I can't, say I choose not to. Regardless of if you physically, literally can or not. Don't tell yourself you can't. Tell yourself you choose not to.
That I choose. Right. So I get it. Makes such perfect sense as soon as you hear it. I was like, well, that makes it like, It's almost like when you hear, well, that's common sense. Well, if it's so common, how come so few people use it? So there it is. I love both of those. And I love you. Look, you guys scrolling along the bottom of the screen is just one of two of the roads to Brittni. LinkedIn is there, but also head over, check out this, BrittniCosgrove.com. Now, I've already taken the liberty of dropping both of those links inside your comment section for easy access for you at the minute we get out of here, which is right around the corner now. So go in, click over, check her out. You won't be sorry. I guarantee it. So big plans for the year. You're doing some big things. Anything you can share with us that we can look forward to? Well, how can we support you and add our prayers to your journey? Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I love that. Yeah. Well, I am excited. This is actually my very first time like sharing it live, but because it's live, I kind of want to. Starting this summer, for the first time in 2 years, I'm opening the doors to my program called the Aligned Launch. And it's all about exactly what we've talked about. That first getting going on your goals, making it happen, accountability, things like that. I've been working in the one-to-one space for a hot minute, and I'm so excited to be back in the group space and just another way of helping people live impactful lives on their terms.
That's awesome. You know, there is a lack, in my opinion, of credible, exciting group opportunities. And some of us just, I'm just learning the group thing through my webinars. And I'm telling you, it is quite different than the one-to-one space. So I'm grateful to see that you're doing that. And it's because there's so many people that need the group situation to feel comfortable in order to get started. It is it serves as a great Cape Canaveral, a place to launch all the rockets within your world. So I love it. I just am so proud of you. I'm so honored to be working with you. Brittni is one of my newest coaching clients, and I'm excited. Keep your eye on this one, you all. She's headed places, and she wants to take all of you that are willing and excited and anxious to do better with her. So get over and check her out. Thank you so much. Listen, we look forward to when you come back, because you will be coming back from time to time. It's mandatory. Thank you so much for what you've given us today and what you're going to give the rest of the world the rest of your day. We really honor you. Thank you, Brittni. Thank you so much. You guys, get out of here. Go find an E and an R. Stuff it somewhere in your pocket. Take it with you. So tonight you can look over your shoulder and say, today I took nice to nicer. I took great to greater. I took bright to brighter. And my personal favorite, I took kind to kinder. So don't you dare let Dr. Lawrence screen door slam on your way out. Get out there and be the best you could ever hope to be today. And I'll see you tomorrow morning on the front porch for another illuminated conversation. And remember, I love you. And there's not a damn thing you can do about it. Have the best day ever. See you soon. Brittni, great job. Thank you. Bye, you guys. Have a great day. Bye-bye.
Show me your soul. Baby, I'll show you mine. Show me your soul. Honey, it's way past time. How explicit do I have to be? Need I spell it out before you get it, baby? Show me your soul. And honey, I'll show you mine. I'll show you mine. Oh, I'm standing right here holding up a sign, shamelessly displaying my state of mind.